All right, so we're opening up the market pretty bullish. I first want to just start off on ES just because I actually do have a trade right now on ES. I partialed out, so I just have my stop loss at the most recent higher low right now. So we're just gonna wait to see if it actually holds or if I just get tapped out here. But I got 5R in this trade, but we look at today in ES, we have a few possibilities that can happen. One, we can get a pullback back down to the 9 moving average. This seems like a really nice higher low, but again, you just never know if we want to put in a deeper, more solidified higher low. But it seems like ES just wants to make another all-time high, which I am all for. And I'm just gonna let these last 3 remaining contracts try to hit all-time high as long as it doesn't stop me out. But that's what I'm looking for. If we do pull back in ES in the New York session, because obviously that New York volatility can definitely get us to pull back. Um, we can definitely pull back to the daily 9 moving average and then find some buyers here and then bounce. Or if we lose this level, we can come all the way down to the 69.17 level on ES. Maybe find some buyers here, but if price consolidates, finds acceptance, then we can move lower. But for ES, it's so strong that I don't think that's very likely to happen. But again, we just got to read and react. And then on the 4-hour chart, we just see this in more detail. Obviously, we're in a 9 moving average uptrend on the daily. And on the 4-hour, I mean, overnight we broke out. Yesterday we had a breakout, and overnight we held it, and now we're actually pushing higher. So we're on a 4-hour 9 moving average uptrend as well. And again, the same scenarios could play out on the 4-hour. We're basically seeing the same thing. Everything's kind of aligned perfectly. And then here's another thing. Yesterday, we were kind of like setting in a higher low, but overnight we consolidated. This is us forming acceptance to create a move higher, and that's exactly what we did. And now we're on a 1-hour 9 moving average uptrend. So we have all the key higher time frames for ES in alignment to look for longs. And this is some of the easiest trading conditions that there can be in order to take winning trades, like the one I'm in right now. And I'll show you. I'll show this in just a moment. The trade I'm in, which I might actually get stopped here. Like I said, I already moved my partials up. I took partials out, and I moved my stop at the higher low, like it's around like 4 to 5R right now. So no matter what, we're in the green. Even if this gets stopped in profit, that's totally fine. But anyways, everything's in alignment. From the daily, 1 hour, 4-hour, everything's in a 9 EMA uptrend, right? So I'm looking to take another trade in the New York session because I actually just got stopped out of my trade. But it was a really good trade, 5-hour trade, not bad at all. And then let's look at NQ. NQ is a little less, it has a little bit less strength than ES does. But nonetheless, rather than putting in a 9, well, sorry, rather than so there's a few possibilities we can do on NQ. We have a bull bear zone at the 630s. We lose that. We can see some continuous downside momentum to try to take out the weekly, monthly open, maybe even previous week's low. And then, or we can just pull back, bounce off this bull bear zone, and then continue to rise higher. But I think we already did that overnight. So the most likely scenario is that we want to continue pushing up. If we can form acceptance up here at this 25, 843 level, 875 level, that's great. And then we can just continue higher to move towards this 26, 204, 236 level. But it doesn't mean we're going to do that today, right? It's just the possibility as to like on a higher time frame, this is kind of like the direction that we could go to. But then if we look down, so it looks like we're starting a 9 moving average uptrend, but we don't have one confirmed yet. As long as we can hold this higher low than 9 moving average and then move higher to create a higher high, then that'll be confirmed. And then that should get NQ started. But if we look at the 4-hour chart on NQ, we're having we had a 9 moving average breakout, and so now we just need to hold this breakout and not come all the way back down to the 630s. I think if we come back down to the 630s, that will invalidate the 9 moving average 4-hour trend. So we need to break out of the 9 moving average on the 4-hour chart in order to really solidify the one on the daily. And if we even look at the 1 hour, again, we are confirmed in a 9 moving average 1 hour trend because we had our breakout, we went higher high, higher low. Now we're making our second higher high. And now we can even push higher to the previous day's high on NQ, which would be pretty nice. And again, these are the scenarios that I have played out. You saw them both on ES and NQ. Scenario, the ones are for bullish and twos are for bears. These are the things that could play out. Obviously, if we lose this level, right, we're definitely going kind of like further down on ES, and then on NQ again. If we lose this level, I definitely think we can go down, but I don't think it's fully bearish until we lose 630s. I think that's the bull bear zone for NQ. If we lose 630s, then yeah, we could definitely see some really strong downside momentum, but I don't think we're going to get that. Because I mean, again, prices just continue to up, and what the context is basically telling us is that price essentially wants to move higher. And just going over the trade that I just took on ES. Let me go ahead and drag that in. It's a frame. It was a pretty good trade. It was basically a wedge breakout. Because obviously with everything in alignment on ES, everything in basically in a 9 EMA uptrend. If we look at here, the moment we get in, we're in a 15-minute 9 moving average uptrend. So we have our breakout, higher high, higher low, higher high, and then 9 moving average trend ends, but the 20 moving average holds, and then we start another 90-minute trend. And again, I just take this kind of like breakout again to the start of a new 15 EMA trend. But how do I get in that? How do I get in that? Well, here is an entry signal right here. And there actually may be another trade right here on ES. Funny enough, but here's my entry signal right here. Basically getting in off this wedge break. We have a wedge, a little moment of consolidation right here. And as soon as we break out of that wedge, boom, I enter my trade, stop at the most recent low in the wedge structure. And then, you just get 5R pretty nicely. I locked in first partials, half my position, right here at 1R. With ES, I don't have enough testing for ES compared to NQ to where I can like hold it to 2R, like 1.5R for my first partials. So I took it at 1R, paid for my risk. If I have $200 on the trade and I take half off at 1R, well, then I'm $100 in profit. I only have $100 worth of risk left. And let's say it comes all the way down to my stop loss. Well, that's fine because I paid for my risk because it's basically a free trade. The only money I'm losing is the 1R I gained on this trade, right? Again, I lock in half my position size. I'm in profit $100. I only have $100 left on risk. If it comes back down and stops me out, well, then guess what? I lose nothing, literally, right? So that's the risk management philosophy there. But with more testing and more data, I'm pretty sure I can take my fresh partials, maybe like a 1.5R, even 2R, like NQ. NQ does really well at 2R. So, but anyways, the rest of the positions, I kind of like sold the rest of my contracts up here as soon as we started seeing some consolidation and some sideways movement. And again, it doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to come down. It just means that, hey, we could be coiling up to make a second move higher. And if we do form a wedge structure up here, I mean, it may not be the best trade location, but it is a setup, right? Like, this could be an area to where you can add in on your trade. But I had my trailing stop here, which I honestly, looking at it now, I definitely should have gave it a little bit more breathing room. But I'm happy for the profits that I locked in. But that's my analysis today, and let's just see what today paints out.